So are you ready?
Yes.
I'm down here on the ground, but that's okay. Just you need to hear. Can you hear them?
Yes. Find a comfortable position where you can close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through the nose and let it all the way out through the mouth, allowing your breath to make a sound. Take another breath. Let it all the way out. One more time. Breathe in and breathe out. Consciously allow your feet to release all of the stress from carrying the weight of your body for most of the day in shoes. Release that energy. Your feet, they are free. Allow this release to continue up the legs to the knees, thighs, pelvis, the abdomen, the chest, neck, and the head. Any tension in the shoulders, arms, or hands, just let it go. Release the muscles in your face. Paying special attention to the jaw area. This is stress. This is tension. Let it go. Let it go. Release the cords we share with others. See in your mind's eye each cord popping and falling away from your body. You are free. Free to travel the universe within you. Clear your mind and see what fills the space. This is your time. Without opening your eyes, slowly become conscious of the space around you. Take another deep breath and let it go. Wriggle your fingers and wriggle your toes. Now open your eyes. Gently start to move your entire body. We leave this meditation with the divine intention of setting our bodies in perfect order, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Namaste. Wow. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here at Shining Hawk Healing. I'm Tony, and I have a very special guest. It's Jodi Roberts. Yay!
We've been trying to do this for so long.
So long. And so I'm so grateful that you're here today. And I really, because it's just been you've been on my mind, and doing musical prayers and meditation and really sort of bringing out the healing for our channels is really sort of foremost in my mind, especially now because there's so many things sort of grabbing at us that is negative, and so many things coming at us that are negative, and to counteract that, to sort of lift people up. That's why we're here, right? We're here to help lift people. And what a better way to do that. I have your recording for the lungs, and I used that when Adrian suggested I use that when I had COVID, and it was like, it was amazing. So amazing. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started with this, and then we'll go to your gongs and look at your beautiful equipment. Oh my gosh, look at that, you guys.
I have my stand on sliders. It makes it
easier.
Good. Everything I own is on sliders, including the gongs. I got into shamanic healing when I first sobered up somewhere around 36 years ago, and started trauma therapy, like most people did, and I just lived in a part of Texas where people were really interested in shamanism. And so I had a lot of therapeutic training and experience, and a lot of sitting in circles with elders, because they did not teach from books back then. They taught from speaking. And, the music at that time would be drums. And of course, I've packed all of mine, so I have some of those. So it was drums and rattles, and the healing work that I started with were crystals and tuning forks. And I had one of my native teachers taught in Germany, so she brought me back a beautiful set of German tuning forks that are nothing like what they use nowadays. They have the big ones with the big, clapper things, and these were just little tiny finesse, and you put the point right on the person. So that went on 15 years, of just doing that kind of work. And when I moved to California, I went to a Tibetan bowl concert in Idlewild up in the mountain, and came out of that going, what are those? I need some. Because I recognized them from past lives. It was like, those. And so I ended up buying 20 of them in 3 months, which was nuts, and left the mountain. I know, they're not cheap. These are all antiques. Left the mountain, and there was a beautiful elder on the mountain, whose name I'm completely blanking on. He is now on the other side. And he was an African-American movie star. He was the first Black cowboy who won an Oscar or some weird thing like that, and he was Idlewild's town spiritual director.
Wow.
And that's just what he was. And he was the only person that I would allow to point a finger at me like that, and all that therapy, without biting it. And after playing my bowls for him, I remember him doing this, and he's like, get off this mountain, get down there and go to work. And my Lakota teacher was calling me going, get off the mountain, go to work.
So you were being called. You were being called.
I was being yelled at. And I had no intention of going back to Texas. God, I had escaped once. Went to Colorado, went to another mountain, and my grandfather Bowl, who I don't even have in his house right now, one day, he's announcing that we're going back to Texas, and I'm looking at him going, you've never been to Texas? Oh, hell no, I'm not going back. And I called up one of my friends in Texas, and before I could say a word, she goes, oh, I hear you're coming back. And I'm like, it's a collusion.
You didn't have a choice. You didn't have a choice.
And I mean, Denise and I spent 3 weeks setting up 10 or 12 different concert events around the area I used to live in Texas. And I mean, neither of us knew what we were doing. Nobody did any of the, I mean, back in those days, people did not do this. They did not go throw Tibetan bowls out on a blanket and play them. And I went out there and, you know, when I look at how much grace is in a life of the utterly weird places I would play and the amazing musicians that would come to me saying, I want to play with you. And I would go, you do understand I'm not a musician. I'm channeling this stuff. And they were like, I don't care. You know, so my flute player, he's like, we got to play in caves. We got to play on farms. We got to so it was a lifestyle of being on the road. I was going back to California and Colorado too, but being on the road with my blind dog who had diabetes, you know, and just doing music.
And you're an anthropologist, right?
I'm an anthropologist, yeah. I am not a musician. Because, you know, I know how to pray in and ask for the highest good and ask to be guided for the highest good. So I got to drive me and the Bowls and a bunch of Hathors around to concerts all over Texas. And I never looked back.
Amazing. Amazing.
It was. So, you know, that turned into somehow, I mean, my first gong was 22 inches, and that has turned into, you know, selling all the small ones, getting all the big ones.
So let's swivel around and let's look at your gongs. See what they look like.
Don't fall off there.
You've got one right behind you too.
Yeah, the one behind me. Here, I'll change my sound so we can hear them. Me, 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 me. There we go. The one behind me is Chiron.
Oh.
He's been very handy in this. Hi. He's been very handy in astrology lately. I'm good at cutting my face. But who cares? You want to hear that?
Wow.
And it's funny. I have purple and orange lights all over this room, and for some reason they cast this beautiful purpley pink color, which I like.
7th chakra.
So
yeah.
Chiron plays D sharp, E flat, and that's the belly button, like the belly button Dantean chakra thing. And I find it really interesting that something they call the wounded healer is actually the most powerful note in standing in power. I like it's a perfect paradox. So yeah, that's him. Okay, let's see. I know I played these guys before. This is Mother Earth.
Wow.
She was my first really big one. And then grandfather's son. And in the native work where we are connecting heaven and earth, these are the perfect gongs to do it, you know, the sun and earth. So they always have to sit next to each other. My God, they sound good. They like you.
I love them. They're so beautiful. Oh my gosh, you have so many.
Colors in her.
Ah.
This is my first Pisces. Her nickname is Storm. And she's the one I actually use when I'm doing weather work, when I'm praying weather to be natural and easy. Mm-hmm. I play with her. Okay, now I'm going to flip the camera around. And take my sliders over here.
Okay.
Okay, this one and that one were both made in a cave in Italy. Totally different metal. And I bought tiger first.
That's, oh my gosh.
Don't tell anybody in here, but he's one of my favorite gongs.
Don't let the other ones know.
Everyone's know. And then this one I ordered a year later because I needed something in the throat chakra note. And I have two people here in town that actually play that gong better than I've heard anybody play it, including the guy who made it.
So what are they made out of?
Copper and steel and I don't know, kinds of metal, secret metals, you know.
From aliens?
Aliens underground in caves.
The colors are so beautiful.
Yeah, these guys make some amazing colors. And this guy, when he's in light, he's blue and black, blue and copper.
Oh, wow.
These two. Now the other two in the back room are screaming.
Well, so this one is this, what's the middle, the circle in the center?
The circle in the center is like this gong. This is a Chinese gong. And
Okay.
let's see if we can do it without completely corrupting sound.
Wow.
That's his sweet spot. And the Pisces you cannot hit in the center. This is my Archangel Michael gong.
Wow.
Nice and he's the same D note that Tiger is. And then this little sweet one. She's one of my babies. She's tiny. And I didn't have a water gong when I moved up here, and she didn't have a job, and so she assigned herself to the job of water gong.
Oh.
And then of course these guys. Oh, that's pretty. Except for the air filter I have back there.
This is pretty.
This is a rack of European chakra notes.
Mm. Wow.
Which is different from the Western chakra notes. It's a whole different note scale.
Yeah. So you said in the larger ones, how did they go from the base chakra to in which direction do they go base to?
I started at root and went up, and
Oh,
the notes
okay.
are different, and I
Yeah.
don't remember at the moment, but they're just a different scale. They're based on what's called the cosmic octave. And I'm going to admit something here. I had bought the chakra tones from Meinl and the little bar chimes, and I thought they were all broken because they weren't the right notes.
Oh. You're like, these don't work at all.
Then I get these in, and it's the same thing, and I'm like, maybe there's something I don't know. So I'm just like, well, they sound good, and the mockingbirds like them, so who cares? And then I get this little tiny chakra. It's like a tray with little bar chimes on it, and that was the first one that had the explanation of where the notes came from. And it was some guy who wrote a book called the Cosmic Octave, which is in his history and his research. He was trying to get notes from planets and chakras. And so Mother Earth is a planetary gong. And now what I find funny is nowadays everybody argues over whether he was right or wrong, and I don't care because I like my gongs. So Mother Earth plays a C sharp, not a C sharp.
Wow.
And that's the adrenals. It's the adrenal. And then grandfather's son plays the B, so that's the crown. And then the Pisces symphonics, like These two
Mm-hmm.
are not supposed to play a particular note, but mine do, which is interesting. So Miss Big Mouth Storm plays the C. She's actually more towards root. And the water gong used to be an E, and now she's leaning towards F. She's leaning towards the heart instead of power.
Is it, and do you find that they based on what's going on, do they tend to change? They change. Oh wow, they change.
Mm-hmm. I rolled this baby. Nope, not that baby. That baby. When I first got her, she was tuned to G sharp. And I rolled her to my healing room in Texas for a client. I don't remember what the client was dealing with, but I rolled it and couldn't get it in the door. So I rolled it in front of the door and had the tuner on her. And she played every single note of the chakra system.
What?
And I'm looking up, I'm like, okay, don't scream. She's half asleep in there. Like, okay. And then when I got these two back together, because I took Tiger on the road with me and did the tuner for the first time, she played D and A, which are Tiger's notes, and he played everything.
Wow.
They
And
were
it's
just sort of like saying hi to me. I'm just like, and
wow.
interesting.
So, okay,
No.
so you do healings, and you also do
Mhm.
classes, workshops and things like that as well. You teach people how to do this kind of healing. What is the
Mhm.
vibroacoustic therapy?
That is, I wonder if I can get this thing in there. Are you guys ready for a field trip?
Yes.
The other two gongs are in there yelling, yes, you're coming. Okay, hang on. Bring one stick because I wiped them out the other night. Okay, we're going to go in here where it's really dark. And I'm going to turn on some lights. Doop, doop.
Oh,
Okay,
I love your
hold
room.
that thought. Got to turn on the good light. Okay. That's actually a Home Depot Halloween light that got adopted into the healing room because we all like it in here.
It's beautiful.
So the other two gongs. So the vibroacoustic technology, the first stuff I got was on that table. That's my old massage table. And underneath it are speakers, bass speakers that are about that big. There's four of
Oh.
them connected under giant amp. Two more speakers that can be put, up here. And you put music on for the table, headphones, and the whole table vibrates,
Oh.
which is really cool. I'm gonna get my legs down a little bit here so I can stand up. The reason I bought one of these is because I was always in pain from all
Oh.
the traveling and slinging of heavy metal. And I got on a friend's table and the pain went away, and it was like, what did you just do to me and how do I get one?
I want more of that.
Yeah, I want one now. So I have like a giant pillow that has the speakers. I've built portable systems. I have looked for the tiniest, most portable speakers I can find. Because all you have to do is plug the music, put it on an MP3 player or an iPod and plug it in. I don't use Bluetooth in my healing room.
Okay.
So my little baby one, of course, you have to have little baby socks. I was looking for, okay, this is actually two motorcycle speakers that go in a helmet.
Oh, and you
That's what I found. So if you're doing healing with frequencies, the vibroacoustic is working with the bass notes. My favorite track is like, very dark, deep rumble,
yeah.
which makes it feel really good. But a lot of the frequencies that shift harmony, balance in the body go from really low to extremely high. These things start at 22 hertz and go up to 22,000 hertz. So I can plug, I mean, when I was on the road, I was using these because I didn't have my tables and I was backspacing all those things that always hurt. And I take this little thing and put it where the neck pain was, and it was like, okay, I can't feel it, I can hear it, and it would heat the muscle up and then take the pain away. So I like to do the mad scientist thing and just build things.
Thank goodness.
Oh, I know.
Somebody's doing it.
And then, I've got all my crystal bowls in here, and some of my Tibetan bowls are in here.
Wow, you've got a lot of balls.
I got a lot. Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
House.
Look at all those bowls.
That's my chakra set is in here, actually. The black one is the root. It goes, 1, 2, 3, and then up that rack goes to the high C. So I like to play those when I'm working on people. Because you guys do readings with cards. I do readings with sound. I can hear what's going on with people's bodies through the sound. Whether they're here or not, I can tell. And my gongs, being as crazy as they are, can, because there's guides in all of them, I could actually get information from them.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh my
gosh. It's fun. I mean, I love this stuff.
Yeah, obviously you've got maybe, oh my gosh, you've got more bowls than anyone I've ever known.
Well, and then the thing that I don't know if Adrian is the person I guinea pigged on part of this. I have to have guinea pigs.
I'll be your guinea pig too.
Yeah. I have wanted to learn voice analysis for years. There's voice analysis software. Here, that's a pretty backdrop. Nope, we got to get me in there. I've wanted to learn how to use that. And I am now being trained in 2 different programs, which is crazy because I'm in school with both of these teachers going. And what this stuff does is when you talk into the app on the phones or computer, it's like MIT and all the mathematicians designed the software. It reads a fingerprint in our vocals.
Really?
Which is really cool.
Wow.
Yeah. And the one that I tried on Adrian, it reads the fingerprint. It gives a report of what's out of balance, and covers everything from chakras to everything. And then I can get an aura picture before and after, which is, like I woke up sick on Monday going, what the heck is going on? And did the table and did the software and looked in my aura picture going, ew, there's like entities all around me. So yeah, did the clearing.
Yeah.
Ran the frequencies because they play frequencies back to you, and then looked at the new aura, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty. It was all purple and blue, So that's something I want to start on YouTube when I get back with Wi-Fi, when I get out of non-Wi-Fi jail here.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do is get people in the audiences to send me or type me intentions, global intentions. And if I can get them on the phone, I'll record their voice and then get the frequencies for that intention and then play music, gongs with the frequencies. My God, it's so much fun. I've been doing that.
That is amazing. I love that.
It's weaving, my helpers weave music, and they're like, okay, that stuff is fun. It's really, we can play with that. So I want to do, because I want audience participation in the work I do online. So I want people to, I can invent intentions until the cows come home, but it would be more fun if other people got involved in this.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I'm a singer, so that really speaks to me, the music, and just speaks to me. I mean, I've been singing all my life, and I love it so much. And I was trying to think of ways to incorporate it, because I actually did a meditation the other day, and
Mhm.
my guide was saying to me, your voice, use your voice. And I'm like,
Yes.
how?
I
What
did
would you like me to
say,
do? So I'm sort of embarking on that question right now, as to how do I do that? How do I make
one
that
of
happen?
the teachers I'm studying with, Helena Riley, her software works more with the chakra system. And what she's learned over the decades that she's been doing this is whatever the notes are that come through our voices, and mine is usually a bass note of D and then
Mm.
something else depending on my mood.
Yeah, mine's usually B flat or B.
Okay, so yeah, so you're getting them. And then when I'm talking, it can be often can be an F or an F sharp, which comes through my chart from that software. But her perspective, looking globally at humans, is one of our throats, our ability to express truth on this planet has been squelched
Mhm.
for hundreds of years. And she sees toning any note as a way to act because it's coming through here. So she's like, get your tuners and just start toning, you know?
Okay. Okay. This is the only it's my tuner.
Here's your tuner. Yes.
I wish I had something more, but that's
Well,
what I
that's what
have.
most, I mean, I have one on my phone and then a
Oh,
little
right,
guitar
right. I have that too.
tuner. Yeah, I
Yeah.
got a guitar tuner that, you just push it on who I want this note, and go for it. And
Yeah.
it's, I mean, I'm sitting there going, okay, me singing online, we may spare everybody. Me playing instruments.
All right. Woohoo.
I mean, if I'm working with one person, they are reading your energy and playing it because there's Hathors and everything, and they're just like, oh, it's Tony. And what was interesting, because I'm listening, I know my instruments. Usually, Storm and Earth are somewhat dissonant, and they weren't with you. They were just like, oh, we know her. That was cool.
I felt that. I felt like, yeah, I felt like, we were old friends. It was
Most
amazing.
definitely.
And the sound is, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Cool. Yeah. Well, and
So good.
Storm's real name is Windwalker, which is supposedly some bad native spirit. And I'm like, okay, we'll call her Storm. But, she's Windwalker. The
That is
first,
so that is so weird, because when I was thinking about you playing on the show, and I just started talking about the wind, just sort of like, just let the wind, just let your breath out and let it sound like the wind, and just let that sound sort of let you, allow you to float through, just like the wind. I had no idea you were going to bring out the wind walker.
well, when I got her, she was my first Pisces. So Pisces are the Cadillac of gongs and extremely loud. And I bought her from a friend in Texas who had a percussion shop. And two other friends brought her up to the ranch I was on. And so there were about 8 of us in the room, and we unboxed her and put the stand together. And the cabin had metal roof. So I strike her for the first time, and we all hear the wind and the footsteps on the metal roof, and it comes whoop into the gong, and we all just sat there like,
Oh,
uh-oh. And I mean, I'm always praying highest good, for Mother Earth, I mean, that, the mantra. And we're just looking at her like, do we dare touch her again?
She's strong.
I literally had to tone her down for normal human audiences. They couldn't
Wow.
handle it.
Wow.
She's just too strong. It's like, okay, I can handle it. I love it. It's great. The deer loved it, they were weird. And these deer love the gongs. Seriously, I have pictures of Emmy after I get done traveling and I'm bringing everything back in suitcases of bowls and the gongs in bags. And Emmy literally walked into my cabin to check out the instruments. And I'm looking at her like, okay.
Hello.
But Windwalker was one of the instruments. Yeah,
Mm.
they're such personalities, unto themselves, and it's just like I can sit in here. I've got one chair in this room and just gongs, instruments, and my other house, even though it'll be bigger, will be the same way. Furniture goes in a different room, but I sit in here, and even if nobody's being played, they're all energetically singing and toning and doing what they're supposed to be doing because they're always busy.
That was my
Which is
next question. Was it, do they actually vibrate without you having to? Yeah. Oh,
Oh, yeah.
wow.
But they're energetically vibrating all the time because I
Yeah.
can feel that. And if I sit here, and I will not do this into your speaker, if I sit here and I do a coyote, they all go off.
Oh, wow.
And I have sat in classes like on the floor. I think it's in front of Mother Earth. Like if I'm sitting really close to one and teaching, she'll be back here like I can't hear over you. I'm helping.
That is amazing.
Well, my guess is you've got drums that would do the same thing.
Yeah, I do. I have this. This is a Celtic drum. This
Yeah,
is,
yeah. They're going to vibrate when you talk.
oh, definitely. I use this one when I'm doing Reiki on someone. I have them on the
Mhm.
table. If I
Yeah.
feel like there is a congestion of energy in any place, then I place the drum over it and I sort of give it a
Mhm.
little bit so the vibration can break that up.
Yeah.
So that's how I use that. And then I found this little cute little drum. It's like a wooden drum,
Ooh,
but it
God,
also has,
none of your sound is coming through
oh,
because the sound setting. Ah!
but it also has like a rain stick quality to it. It
Yeah,
has
yeah.
little beads
Like
and stuff in it.
seeds in there. Yeah.
So yeah, so I do use those when I'm working on a client,
Mhm.
and it's, it really does, the vibration really makes a difference,
Oh
especially
yeah.
when there's congestion.
Oh
So
yeah.
wow.
Frame drums, like put the edge on the heart chakra and play it. God, that feels so good. Just because
Oh,
it's vibrating
fun.
right in the chakra. It feels good. And I have got, and this is interesting because I haven't done this with all my drums, but I get them out of storage, I will. Drums have different pitches because some drums will play, which drum? I think I brought my main drum I brought with me on the Texas trip, and playing her with Tiger. Like I'll get the drum mallet and go back and forth between the drum and the gong. They get along really well.
Now, what would you do that for? Like, what chakra would you use that
Well,
for?
I was using it in a shamanic journey
Oh,
as
okay.
music for it. And in the he's usually playing D or D sharp. And then he pops, so he plays D and A, he pops an A here once in a while. He plays my notes. Usually my notes are D and A. Like, of course I like you the best. Don't tell anybody. But when I'm doing something like drums, when I'm doing a gong bath, I'm not necessarily doing chakras. I'm just doing more universal prayers like Ho'oponopono and highest good. And this Sunday, I had an affirmation, written on paper for everybody for the full moon because it was the full moon that day. And Power Path was like, the antidote to all the crazy energy in this full moon is beauty. And I'm like, perfect. So, I wrote, I am beauty. I walk the beauty way for the highest good of Mother Earth and all her relations. And we recorded that as a group into the other voice software and got a frequency back that they go for 24 minutes on that app. So for 24 of the 60 minutes, Mark and I were playing the gongs with that running. And when I finally listened to the recording to edit it, the wave sounds sounded like one of the ocean drums and a rain stick. I'm like, where did the rain stick come from? But, I was playing with Mark for the first time. I'm like, the Hathor say you're ready, let's go. It's phenomenal. But to have that recording woven into it, it was like, because my intention is always to broadcast into the field.
Yes.
And this huge lake is like right over the ridge and down the street, and the trees are all over and crystals everywhere. So I'm like, okay, guys, we're doing gong bath, help. So we'll cover all the chakras, but that's not what I'm playing it for in something like that. Yeah. I'm playing it to use as a broadcast prayer, basically, which is the same thing you do. I know you broadcast your music too. I know.
Yeah, I love that. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This has been so amazing.
Yeah, you and me and Adrian need to get on and start.
I know we do. I think that we could be, if we could get together and do the music, that would really be so powerful for the collective. And I think that
it's time. And because I was telling Adrian, I said, I use cards in everything I do. I've got a gazillion decks. I love them. And I'm not going to shift to be a card reader because I read reality through frequency. Mm-hmm. And, you want a reading from me, I'm going to go walk around my gongs and give you a reading. That's how I do it.
Yay!
And the chakra drums and all that.
Yeah.
And it was just an awareness of, this is because I'm trying to fit the square peg into the round hole with all the readers, and I'm going, that's not how I do it.
Me too. I had to sort of take a look at what I was doing and how I was doing it and what my original intention was, right? And it's to really just broadcast to the environment, to to Gaia, to the collective of the healing aspect of things. So so yeah.
Well, let's do it. I'm driving around today going, okay, I want to use the voice analysis. I want to get people to contribute intentions, because I have a remote viewing group and we only work with the big picture. It's not personal healing. It's like we're going out there and working, because somebody, even if I just type in or speak in myself an affirmation like that, it was powerful. It was like, because this room was crammed and everybody's like, yeah, we'll do this.
Nice.
It's really neat.
That sounds amazing. I can't wait to come onto your channel and and have my affirmation.
But one of the things I want to do when I get my Wi-Fi is actually do the voice analysis online. If you want to be because I want to do, I do it online privately with clients all the time, but what I'm hearing the mouthy ones say is have her sing into, because you speak A-E-I-O-U, you speak the vowels, then your name, and then an affirmation, and then I can type in the affirmation. But my God, can you imagine the power of singing all that?
Yes.
Yeah. And the thing that I've done, because I am trained in shamanism before music, what I pay attention to is what the wind does when I'm playing, what the birds do, what the animals do, if there's animals around me. And I have a big bar chime right outside this front door, and it's Music of the Spheres bar chimes, which are just delicious. And when I start playing the gongs, the wind will start playing the chimes. And and I've watched for all the years. I've done this stuff for 20 years, this kind of sound healing. And I started noticing that certain birds would sing with certain kinds of instruments. And I had mockingbirds in the last house in Texas that would nest right outside the gong room window so that they could sing along with all the gongs.
To hear some beautiful sounds, that's what draws them to you.
Well, and especially intentional music. I mean, I'm the kind of weirdo that can take any music and turn it into highest good prayer, because it's how you focus on the music. And I do that, I mean, I'll put on, I'm from the old rock and roll days, I'll put on rock and roll and just make it sacred.
Yeah. and it doesn't have to be like your guide was saying, doesn't have to be the words. It's just the sound. It's the note. Yeah. It's a pure
I am looking forward to getting all my sound systems wired back up, because I don't have any in here. And I have these 2 African drums. They're huge. And you can take the really thick, big wooden sticks and hit them with them.
Wow.
And those drums, I put on Who Let the Dogs Out? An old song. Who let the dogs out? Just like, man, that is going to be the first thing I do. Get the yayas out.
So it's good you don't have neighbors that are too close.
I'm going to be on a place with 2 acres.
Oh, amazing. That's great.
Crank it up.
Crank it up. You sound like my husband. He likes to turn it up to 11.
Of course. Well, I grew up in the old trance dancing age.
Oh, wow.
I remember being at some holistic fair in Austin, Texas, when Wilbert, I think it was his name, Wilbert Alex, introduced trance dance. The first time it was ever exposed to the public, I got to do that.
Wow.
Where you blindfold and you just, oh my God, I'm like, yeah, I like this. Crank the music.
I used to go, like, there in Los Angeles there a long time ago. I don't know if they still do this, but they used to have dance days at like a community center, and you just go and dance. That's all you would do. People would move their bodies, and it would be so spiritual. Yeah. I mean, sort in a way that you're just moving your body, and in shamanic practices is like you dancing the dream awake, and it's you're doing that soul dancing. It's really not about. It's about your connection to spirit, and it's about how spirit is moving you through that rhythm and through that music and the tones and everything. And it was just amazing. It was better than church, better than.
Oh my God. Yeah. Well, it was church. Yeah. Gabriel Roth's work, because she used to have that kind of dancing all over.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, thank you for being on. I'm so happy that you're here, and thank all of you guys for being here, and show Jodi some love when she gets her all her setup all together. We're gonna flood her channel with love and thumbs up and all of that good stuff. So Jodi, thank you so much.
And we will connive and plan. And
yes. So thank you guys for being here. I will see you soon. Walk in beauty, walk in joy, and walk in love. Bye, guys.